Welcome, creatures of all ages. Hold on, is the application audio, is the YouTube audio working? No, the background music is, Oh, yes, it is. There it is. All right. Okay, so welcome, creatures of all ages. This is my stream of we're going to do two things being streams. Well, three things. One, we're going to play Empire Total War, Darth Mod. Two, we're going to be finishing up a story that I've been reading for a while, that being Robert E. Howard's The Shadow of the Vulture, featuring Red Sonja of Rogatino. That's the second thing. And the third is, we are going to be talking about the history of a particularly overlooked figure in a particularly overlooked figure in Eastern European history, but one that's increasingly relevant now, and that is the Cossacks. The Cossacks of Ukraine. So, just having a little snack. I've actually been looking forward to this for a while. The Cossacks are one of the more fascinating, a very fascinating phenomenon, because they did not start as a definitive ethnic group in terms of like genetics and culture. Originally, they were what I would call the Eastern European equivalent of pirates, marauding raiders who worked with the Eastern Orthodox powers in order to launch a vicious guerrilla war against their enemy, the Turks. They considered themselves defenders of Christendom, but also defenders of liberty, because once the Turkish threat had subsided, relationships between these people and their Russian and Polish neighbors began to sour, because their attitudes towards freedom and equal rights went against the evolving economies of these countries, which soon ended up becoming based on serfdom. So it's a fascinating story, and I wanted to make the story, make this stream about the Cossacks, because supposedly that is what Red Sonja is. Now this is just speculation. I'm not sure what Robert E. Howard was thinking, but Red Sonja is described as doing a Cossack dance in this story. However, she is also described, on one hand. On the other hand, she is also described as she claims to be the sister of Roxolana, the concubine, the Russian concubine and eventually wife of the Ottoman Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent. So I found it very fascinating, so I said this will be the topic of my of today's research. Anyways, like I said, we are in the middle of playing Empire Total War as Poland, Lithuania, which is one of the factions that would ultimately, in the early 1700s, go to war with the newly emerged, not in the early 1700s, late 1600s, would go to war with the emerged Cossack state. And like I said, the relationships between the Cossack state and its neighbors have long-lasting implications that reach well into the present with the war in Ukraine. So let's get on it. I'll start talking about the history once some more people come. In the meantime, we're just going to play the game, and if nobody comes, then I will just recite my notes and depending how energetic I am, maybe read through Shadow of the Vulture, and then we'll call it once I get tired enough. Anyways, let's get on it. Applications audio, and the YouTube background music off. Background music off, and yeah, let's go. Continue campaign. Oh, the thing isn't on. Let me see. There we go. All right, let's go. Continue. We have won a victory, but may I say never seen another. Indeed, it's the Battle of Fontenoy, also known as More Furies Than Men, was such a it was a French victory, but the British fought like demons and inflicted a heavy casualty upon the French to the point where basically it was like the Pyrrhic victory of Ascalon, where Pyrrha says, if we have any more of these victories, we are doomed. So, like I said, we are in the middle of trying to take down the last vestige of Prussian holdout. But now that I've captured the capital, the last Prussian holdout in Silesia. Let me see. We have a pretty decent standing army. I could go in right now. No, you know what? I'm gonna wait a little longer. What else? Oh yeah, there are these troops too. Basically, we are recovering at this point. So, let me look at my... It's been a while since I started this campaign, so let's just look at our agents. We have our Catholic missions, preaching the gospel to the infidels in the south, the infidel Turks. We have a gentleman studying... a gentleman... We have 5 gentlemen. We're about to become one of the most... Hold on. Hugo Dulka. Let's see. What should we steal? What should we steal? Huh. Let me see something. I wonder, do we actually have... are we more advanced than the French in general? Let me see. We are, alright. I wonder, what can I get for offering them seasoning or teaching them about the social contract? Alright, counteroffer. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, what about these guys? Flintlock Cannon, Division of Labor. What can I give them in exchange for them teaching me, imparting on me Adam Smith's wisdom? I can give them I can give them these. Some naval technology. I'm not sure how I have naval technology when I'm just starting to build any semblance of a navy, but okay. Let's counteroffer. Okay, I think that should work. Division of Labor. What about you guys? You guys are backward people. You cannot allow this to continue. Huh. Alright, the Mughals are very friendly with me. That's cool. What can... Oh, wow, the Mughals are very advanced. I mean, that would make sense. By the time of the 1700s, the Mughal Empire made up like 20% of the entire world's GDP, so... Alright. But for some reason, it appears you have become more advanced than me. Would you care to learn about military tactics? Guess not. Okay, how about... textile industry. Can I have this? Oh, okay. Fine, be that way. I still... Okay, the Ottomans are unfriendly with me. Still, let's see if I can get them to agree with the trade, to a trade agreement. Trade in this game is a lot more advantageous than just... is advantageous to the point where even enemies will agree to it. Even people who are unfriendly with you will agree to it because of how much money involved. Yeah. How about a trade agreement? Let's let bygones be bygones. Oh, alright. That's cool. What else? What else? Saxony, alright. Who else is very friendly? The United Provinces are very friendly with me. Okay. Okay, I will teach you about how to farm, and you will teach me how to make stuff. Okay. Okay, I will teach you how to farm, and I will also teach you how to blow stuff up. Uh-huh. What about the Russians? Okay, you guys are backwards. How about the Swedes? Measuring tools, very interesting. Alright, let's trade scientific knowledge. I will teach you about economics, and you will teach me about science. I said, you will teach me about science. Okay, you will teach me about science, and I will teach you about boats. What? No, wait, I already asked him that. How about... Okay, I will teach you about how to put a knife on a gun. Wow. Fine. You want to play it that way? We can play it that way. Complete scientific exchange. Fine. What's so important about rulers that you won't want to show me how to make them? Oh, there's our favorite sickly disabled king, Carlos II. Okay, what else? Kurland, what can you do? Uh, okay, I'll teach you some interesting stuff, and you will give me some, and you will compensate me for it. All right. Uh, Playing Kingmaker a little. Kurland. All right, basically becoming a scientific and economic superpower. All right, well, let's help out. No, well, let's assist our allies also. Let's teach them about um, economics and artsy fart, scholarly stuff, and also how to put a knife on a. No, you know what? Let's just teach them economics. What the hell? Uh. You know, I might want to actually fight with these guys later, so forget it. Um. Wow, what it. Okay. Uh. You know what? I'll throw my friend. I'll throw my friends in the frontiers a bone. Eh, all right. Or maybe not. Who are my main enemies, anyways? Okay, I'm probably just gonna get rid of Prussia and then some, well, we'll see. I guess let's build some roads. Huh. You know what? Let's get some more. Let's make some. Let's get a bit more money. I need. I want to spruce up the old homestead. Who else can we engage in jolly cooperation with? Our old, how about our old friends in the Catholic League, Venice? Okay, let's try again. Okay, how about the Saxons? Hmm. Well, maybe they'd at least be willing to. Alright. This seems fair. I mean, no, it doesn't. Okay, how about now? Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is also mundane. The Knights of St. John. Why do they hate me so much? Alright. How about this? 4-field crop rotation. I don't know how they figured that out, but okay. How about the Persians? These guys are strong. Okay, clearly they don't like us, but you know what? How much does this cost anyways? Okay, I have a lot I can teach these guys. Alright. You know, let's make play Kingmaker again. Okay, how about now? How much does this cost? Hold on. Hold on. The window is... Alright, we're good. Now, let's start rebuilding our army. And we should be good to go. What about... Okay, let's see what victory conditions. Let's see how those are going. Shit. Okay. Well, what are our other objectives? Are we supposed to conquer Sweden? Alright. Huh? Slow, going along, going along. Moving right along, moving right along. I haven't done enough research to know exactly what was Sweden up to in these years. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. We can dual rakes. He is an armchair general. Yeah, let's take him on. All right. All right, the scoundrel appears to have been defeated. Oh, what do you know? The scoundrel has not, in fact, been apprehended. Morocco has been destroyed, presumably by Spain, I guess. Let's see. What should we research? Wedge formation. Wedge formation does sound nice. How about nice? After all, it'll be useful when we eventually get winged hussars, whenever that is. Do I ever get winged hussars in this mod? Yes, I do. Perfect. Okay, so this is where the rake is. Huh? Do I have anyone else who can screw these guys up? Vilnius, gentleman. Okay, let's send him to this school. I wonder, can I send this guy to Oxford? No, I can't. This isn't like other Total War games where I can just send him across the sea in a boat. I need to actually send him via Navy. I need to get this. I need to get rid of this. Okay, this is going to be a bloodbath, but I think we can do it. what's my... That's a lot of money. What's my current income? Oh, wow. That's loads of money. Let's upgrade this to a naval board. Opera house. Opera house. Let's make an observatory here, a cannon foundry, a drill school. What's this? Okay, what can I build here? Alright, spruce, like I said, sprucing up the old homestead. My dog is still barking. My dog has an ear-splitting bark. And currently he's barking at someone at the door. He's a rescue, so, I don't know, he's very antsy all the time. He also always demands petting, because he's just really insecure and needs cuddles all the time. I don't know, for someone who's with me who's autistic and super sound sensitive, it's annoying, but I love him nevertheless. I can't go now and shut him up because shit. Wait, hold on. Oh, right, okay. So he's coming for me. He's coming for Warsaw. That was me considering intercepting him. So, yeah, I think I'm going to be fine. I'll gank him with everything, with all my troops over there. With all this money, I should start lowering taxes to grow the economy. Okay, I've been raided. That's fine. It's a farm. Okay. Yeah, I can take these guys. Let's go. Who is this guy who's leading them? Gothelf Burkhardt. Careful. Okay, this is going to be a bloodbath, but totally winnable. Totally winnable. I mean, look at this. I outnumber them by far. We're in a war, damn it. We're going to have to offend somebody. I like that quote. Okay, well, the goal of this is going to be to make heavy use of my artillery, get them to come to me. Should be fairly simple. Unlimber. Unlimber. Regiment of Horse. Okay. I am going to keep my dragoons right here. I will keep my militia guarding this. Again, I don't know where my pikemen. All right, let's go. More barking. Arf arf. Alright, Lancers over here. Okay, let's see if I can snipe their general. Ah. Okay, I got one of their cannons. That's good. All right, their gendarmerie are coming right now. They're going to be running right into my... Okay, these guys are trying to flank me. I'll have to take care of them quickly. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. That was not a good volley. Shit. Let's turn around. They're running through me. Oh shit, they're coming for my general! Shit! Okay, okay, this should be straightforward. The pikes, I have a wall of pikemen, so... Okay, I think my general's doing alright for now. And my infantry right here have bayoneted these guys to death. Alright, let's see if we can give these guys a taste of grape shot. Okay. Can we hide behind this? No, this isn't a barricade. It looks like one. So... this is a regiment, of course, so... okay, who can these guys run down? I want to get rid of their artillery. Alright, my gunmen on this side are doing great. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna try to do a mass cavalry charge to run these guys down. It's gonna be a gamble, but I think I can do it. Alright, my lancers are about to finish these guys off. Yep, it looks like... yep, they are broken. Alright, nice work. Alright, these lancers are doing pretty well. Let's see if I can run down some of these militiamen. Alright, the enemy general has been killed. That's good. Alright, let's dismount my horses right here. Yep, run them down. Okay, my dragoons have been dismounted and these pikemen are about to be shredded, so let's prepare for a cavalry charge. Let's see if I can run them down with my general. Okay, let's go. Alright, they are shattered. I'll just quickly get rid of them. Let's see how my lancers are doing. Yeah? Alright. Job well done. Okay. Alright, excellent use of cavalry, but my infantry definitely suffered. My infantry got shot to pieces. Decisive victory. From time to time, the tree of liberty must be watered with the blood of tyrants and patriots. Very infamous quote. Why are they running deeper into my territory? Oh, this is annoying. I'm gonna see if I can just beat these guys to. If I take their last if I take their last bit of terrain, then if I take their last settlement, then there's not much they can. Then then their remaining armies are destroyed. So let's see. Lots of militia, decent amount of cavalry, a little firelock infantry. No, I don't like this. I'm gonna besiege them. I'm just gonna starve them out. In the meantime, let's get some provincial cavalry. Otherwise, let's also lower taxes. Oh wow, I'm getting a lot of money from trade. I mean, that would make sense. At this time, Poland, Lithuania was one of the breadbaskets of the world. Let's see. This area is actually one of the most fertile in the world, especially Ukraine. Like half of the world's, a large amount of the world's wheat comes from it. Ancillary gain, surgeon. Enemy raid. The current cabinet has regained control over the government. Alright. Frugal and thrifty. Huh. Let's look at... Okay, can I fire this guy? Yeah, I probably should. That's more like it. Okay, let's see what my income next turn is going to be. It is probably going to be... It's still going to be a lot. Maybe I should... I mean, again, most of my taxes are coming from trade. What are my goals? What are my goals for conquest? Should I prepare for another attack on somewhere? Okay, Rumelia. Rumelia. Oh, that's right, I have to retake Constantinople, that makes sense. I also need to capture Austria and Sweden. I need a casus belli. But when I say I need a casus belli, what I really mean is I need to, I need someone to pay me for going to war with someone else. Who is Austria, Denmark, pirates, Russia, Barbary States, Great Britain. Am I trading with Sweden right now? No, I'm not. Looks like I will be. It looks like I will be attacking Sweden. For that, we are going to have to build a navy. Which of course I don't actually have. You know what, though? It's okay. We can build at least slowly start to build a navy. A navy that can at least take us across the border. Okay, a single boat at a time. This is going to take a while. Otherwise, who are these peoples? What? Firelock infantry, regiment of foot, line infantry, legend. Okay, very infantry. Narke Varmland. I'm not going to bother pronouncing that. A lot of dots at the top. So they are very infantry heavy, and they will be hard to actually actually run down. So I'm going to have to focus on focus artillery. All right. All right, let's go with this. Oh, are we finally getting that duel I wanted? No, not yet. Wait. Okay, let's see what they end up. Let's see what that rogue army ends up doing, slinking away in defeat. Looks like nobody's coming, so I guess I'll just make a video coming on sometime. what's his name? Malone has been teaching me, has been asking me to, suggesting I make a video on, huh? Oh, assassinated, alright. Yeah, I forgot that could actually happen to me. uh, where was he? Duel. Let's go. How about the... mm, this is a 50 chance. No, no, no. It's... I have a 55% chance of winning, and... Okay, okay, I got him. Got him. Trait gained. Good swordsman. Okay, where's my other... Let's see if I can pull this off. Oh yeah, that's right. The British are at war with the Prussians too, I guess. Alright, let's exchange units. Alright. Alright. The siege continues. I need another port somehow. Let's see how my tech is doing. Classical University, I will be doing that soon. Okay, let's keep going. Sieges are a huge pain to do. and pain to do in this game, which is why it's better to besiege armies, besiege settlements instead. Huh? Where are these guys going? Who's the British at war with right now? Are they at war with Russia? Alright, so looks like nobody's come. I'm not sure if I should private this video or not, but, no. I'll only private this video if, I end up not going, I will probably go for another hour. After that, I will, but in the meantime, I will mention, I will start describing, I'll just recite my notes. Can you give me an indemnity? Whatever.
Rioting has broken out in this region as the lower orders have become too unhappy. You must either appease the rioters by lowering taxes, or send in the troops to put them down. Whatever you do, act quickly before the riot becomes a rebellion.
Alright. I need to pay close attention to the audio. Okay, let's get another... fifth rate. I have time. I have time in terms of campaign time. I mean, time today, I'm not sure. Anyways, let's describe what I was talking about regarding the Cossacks. The Cossack state would have been generally around here, so the Cossacks, actually, nobody really the Cossacks were originally came from a mix of different peoples, of different ethnic groups, just left behind by the chaotic aftermath of the Mongol invasions. The Mongols just came and pillaged this area and forced the Poles to pay tribute. Eventually, they were driven out, with the only a remnant of their polity left being the Crimean Khanate. But there were a large number of roving bands of various different ethnic groups, such as Turks, Tatars, and Cumans. But also later on went on to include Slavs and overall. So let me just describe what a Cossack is in a nutshell. A Cossack is originally, the Cossacks were not a ethnic group. It was an occupation. A Cossack means you engaged in Cossacking. The name comes from the Turkic word Kazakh or Cossack, which can mean free man, conqueror, or robber, interpretively. They started out as roving gangs and militias trying to eke out a living on the borderland of Ukraine, but gradually they forged ties with the Russian Empire, recruited them to serve as guards and light cavalry. They would raid into the territory of their enemies, such as the Crimean Khanate and Ottoman Empire, under no flag but on the orders of the Tsar. So, or like I said, anyone could join as long as they were Christian and seeking and wanted freedom. So that's why I said they are an inland, more religious version of pirates. So ultimately, though, the way of life known as Cossacking, yeah, the raids were generally no. So yeah, the way of life was overall called Cossacking. It slowly began to decline as the Russian Empire began to conquer the frontier, and suppress the Cossacks and suppress them. And the reason they would do that is actually because serfs were the serfs of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth and the Russian Empire were actually running away to join them. As serfdom was declining in Western Europe, it was actually becoming more and more popular in the East as peasants began bound to the land under really abusive of contracts that prevented them from leaving it. Being a serf in the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth or the Russian Empire was not much better than being a slave, because they could actually be bought and sold. Because they could actually be bought and sold between nobles. So the Russian Empire and Polish-Lithuanian peasants of the Russian Empire and Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth were beginning to fall under the yoke of serfdom, as I call it. But right before the beginning of the 1600s, which is known as the time of troubles, when there were many different pretenders to the Tsar, many peasants began to attempt to flee to the less developed parts of Russia to escape serfdom and live with the Cossacks. The Russian Empire began to combat this by constantly expanding the border south to Dagestan. But and so that the Cossacks had nowhere really to hide. Ultimately, though, the Cossacks would ultimately begin to make a home in this area. They weren't just raiders. They built lines of forts called Sich, or Siach, I don't know how to pronounce that, to defend their territories against the Tatars, and eventually they became more sedentary and more of a solid ethnic group descended from these runaways. I mean, think if the pirate republic in the Bahamas actually became a republic. Their fighting style ultimately was light. It was light on its feet. Lots of light cavalry and lightning fast raids and terror attacks. They had their naval combat, which they was also based on light ships. They would dock in the Volga River, and move into the Black Sea, from where they would attack Ottoman lands. And ultimately, they started to actually become more of a state in the middle of the 1600s, in the Khmelnytsky uprising in the 1650s, when the hetman Bohdan Khmelnytsky led a Cossack uprising against the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, and funnily enough, allied inch of convenience with the Crimean Tatars, their previous enemies. And then they would and ultimately they would succeed. It would result in a unified Cossack hetmanate that would sort of submit to the suzerainty of the Russian Tsar, but in reality they were very much independent. And this hetmanate, by the standards of the time, were actually incredibly egalitarian by Eastern European standards. Peasants could very easily be elevated to common Cossack status, citizenship, and allowed to participate in politics. Private property ownership was a lot more spread out instead of being concentrated with a few nobles. And meanwhile, the rebellion was actually devastating for the PLC, contributing to its eventual decline. And so much of its most fertile land was taken away, meaning around Ukraine was taken away to become part of this hetmanate. And eventually, after another 100 years or so of just barely holding on, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth would collapse. However, eventually the hetmanate flew too close to the sun. When Ivan Mazepa broke away from the Russian Empire at the dawn of the 18th century. This is when Ukrainian-Russian relations started to break down, relations that had been tense, if not hostile, to this day, because to Russian nationalists like Putin today, the Mazepa has always been seen as a traitor who betrayed the friendship between the people of Ukraine and the people of Russia. Mazepa left behind the Cossacks' ties with Peter the Great and forged new ones with Charles XII of Sweden. And for hundreds of years after, Russians would view Mazepa as a traitor, even after Catherine the Great abolished the state in 1775. Anyways, as stated before, in the 1600s, before Mazepa's rebellion, the Cossack state was liberal compared to Russia, and this was actually seen in particular by literacy among the peasants. Many peasants more peasants than normal in those areas knew how to read and write. Priests who visited the area. Travelers and priests who visited the area noted how many peasants were capable of reading. Arts and culture in that area of Ukraine flourished and even began to be represented in the courts of Moscow. There would be musicians coming from Ukraine going all over Eastern Europe. Either way, Mazepa's rebellion went horribly. After winning the Battle of Poltava, Peter the Great sacked the hetmanate's capital of Baturin and extracted thousands of estates from the Cossacks. Just said, this land is ours now. The Cossack state once again became a vassal of the Tsar. Before, in 1775, it was liquidated by Catherine, became a full part of the Russian Empire. Once their unique military services of the Cossack cavalry against the Turks was no longer needed as much, when the Turks became the sick man of Europe. Where are these guys going? I need to figure that out. But yeah, Red Sonja of Rogatino is an adventurer. Very light on her feet, very good with gunpowder, brilliant with light swords, and of course does the Cossack dance. So she is very, she very much has the fighting style of a Cossack, and she also despises the Turks, the sworn enemy of Suleiman the Magnificent, and as a result, has the traditional rivalry of the Cossack frontiersmen with their Muslim enemies. I don't feel like actually reading out Shadow of the Vulture because it might actually hurt my throat, and streaming for a lot while reading aloud to nobody ends up, what's the word, ends up timing me out. I need all the energy I can get to for work tonight. Where are all these gentlemen coming from? A suspicious death. Holy crap. This No, this one rake is wreaking havoc upon my gentleman. What can this guy? No. No, man, a dirty German serial killer is targeting my. A German serial killer is targeting my. What is it? My tenured professors. What a dick. All right, let's send him to. You know, I'm gonna keep him here until the rake is dealt with. What can this guy do? A steady hand. Yeah, I'm gonna keep him here for now. Okay, everyone's here. No, I am still going to besiege them until they surrender. Technology advances. Okay, Magdeburg. Where is this? Magdeburg. Who's the guy in here? Enlightenment technologies and military technologies. Alright, this is good. Consent of the governed, so we're good and governed. If this succeeds, we might consider emancipating our serfs. Maybe. Kameniak. Where is this? Where is this? Kameniak. What can this guy do? Armchair General. Alright. And Krakow. He is learning. Anyways, we have a lot more advancements we can build. Let's see. This doesn't seem like it's worth it. Let's upgrade our school. Oh, a new town. What should we build here? This is mostly Catholic, so we don't need to build a seminary. We could build a crafts workshop. No, we don't need that much more money. I mean, this could actually spawn a rake. I could use a few more assassins. Another missionary would be nice, so... I don't know. Yeah, you know what, let's build a coaching inn. Yeah. I do want more, research points for a per turn for enlightenment technologies. Alright. Huh. Okay. I don't see how this would be a fair fight, but no, why the balance of power is so equal, but okay, let's do this. We are probably going to end the stream after this battle. Yeesh, a star for it. Now I know why I didn't want to. I didn't want to attack. I was correct. So let's have some artillery right here. Okay, let's also have some artillery right here. Oh, this is on a hill. That's nice. And let's keep him on a little bit back. And all right. Let's put some pikes behind the artillery. Punish them for attacking. Yeah, punish them for assault for any assaults. Grenadiers. Can these grenadiers actually throw bombs? So grenadiers cannot actually throw bombs here in this game. That kind of sucks. That's kind of lame, but you know what? I don't know why. This is a mod, so whatever. Let's have some fences inside on the side. And then where are they going to come from? I'm generally going to give fences to my militia, just because militia will get devastated. My militia will get devastated by any cavalry charges. However, I'm going to give trenches to my actual line infantry. So otherwise, a little bit further up. Okay, I am not actually going to... No, you know what, I will, yes. Okay, we have provincial cavalry right here. Let's cover the center. No, let's cover this side. Have I forgotten anyone? No. Yes, I did. I forgot this foot artillery right here. Let's go. Huh? Why aren't these guys shooting? Ah, alright, good shots. No good. Okay, my Austrian allies will probably handle these cavalry right here. Let's see what's happening on this side. Alright, I'm going to fast forward a bit. Not sure why. I mean, yeah, I know why. I'm just... Okay, which direction are they going in? Let's see if I can just run these guys to the side. And screen, I guess. Uh-oh. You know what, I would rather lose some line infantry than my artillery. Okay, they're coming out now. The line infantry are... Their infantry are coming out now. Little by little, though, so I think we're good. Alright, I lost a shit ton of men from that, but they lost more of their cavalry. I think we're good. The AI does not know how to play with cavalry, so whatever. What are these guys shooting at? Are they shooting at my cavalry here? Alright, their Austrian, the Austrian hussars are running down their infantry, but here come the lot of them. Probably shouldn't be friendly firing. Hold fire. Allies are doing pretty being pretty helpful, guarding my flanks. Okay, let's turn my artillery's attention at this side. If I can. Yeah, I think we're good. We've won. This is in the bag. Oh, they're shooting at me. Alright. Falling back. Yeah, just gonna keep on shooting each other, firing in ranks. I'm gonna go for a cavalry charge. I think we should be... I think they're vulnerable enough for it. Okay, I'm gonna go for a bayonet charge here. Alright, this cavalry charge was pretty successful. I think. They're still not breaking, even though I killed like half of them. Come on, run, run, run. Okay, on to the next one. Alright, they are running for their lives. Yep, they are running for their lives. Okay, the rest of it should just be a shooting fest. And that should be it. Okay, let's finish these guys off. There's still this mortar. This is annoying. So basically I have to go inside and actually... I have to actually go inside and take them down. Well, I guess I'll just fast forward this. Okay, moving right along, moving right along. Heroic victory, huh? Okay, so like I said, I am going to end the stream here. Let's just deal with the aftermath of this, and let me think. Crimean Khanate. Should I let them? Should they let them off? I don't know. We'll be betraying my ally, but you know what? Whatever. Right, one more turn should do it. Wait. The Austrians took it, and I helped them. I'm sorry, this isn't normally... normally, in Total War, other factions can't just steal your claims from you. That's not how it works. Because they can assist you, but they don't just steal claims from you. That's so freaking stupid. You know what? I'll deal with them later. Now I need to focus on Sweden. Bro, not cool.
Armies that are not large enough to be effective could be destroyed if attacked by a superior force.
Damn, this is annoying. Alright, I guess I'll just... This is annoying. Whatever. I'll just set my units to replenish, and we are going to leave it at that. 1 hour and 50 minutes without of just talking to thin air. That's a record for me, and hopefully I can increase it in the future. But yeah, expect more to come.